What's up guys, welcome to Boot Wizard Boot Reviews. My name's James. If you are a regular viewer of the channel, you will know that this is most certainly not my studio. And that's because I've just moved house, I've moved country, so there is no such thing as a Boot Wizard studio right now. So if you want to watch along with our next few videos that I record, you're going to get to see the beautiful countryside of Ireland instead of the inside of my studio. I think that is an upgrade. If you do want to see those videos, get subscribed, of course, like this video. And for today, let's get into unboxing and reviewing what could be the best laceless boot ever made. What else could we be talking about today apart from the original Lotto Zhero Gravity, which I am lucky enough to own in brand new in box condition, which is somewhat gonna change over the course of this video. Well, let's get these out of the box and see what we think. Now, I'm also lucky enough to have these in what I would consider to be the iconic gold and white colorway. If you get to pick a colorway for this boot when you're buying them, I would absolutely go for this one. I think it looks fantastic. It's a super white and gold. You can never really go wrong. And of course, the standout feature, the laceless system. So if we drop these to one side, we can take a look at the boots again in a second. Well, let's see what else is in the box. And I think all the added extras that I'm going to show you kind of show the shift we've had from 2006 when these were released to now, where basically we're lucky to get a shoehorn and a string bag with most of our boots. Whereas here, we've got a whole host of options and a whole host of different things that really, I think, add value to these boots. Seemingly, the most simple thing in the box is the shoehorn. It's a shoehorn. It's to help you put the boots on because they are laceless. But on the other side of the shoehorn, you get this stud tightener. Again, fairly innocuous. It's for an SG boot, right? You just tighten the studs with it. Not so much. Now, what you have with the Zhero Gravity is you get 4 studs, which are completely interchangeable on a mixed sole plate, which in 2006 wasn't something that you got very often, a mixed sole plate. Now, this wasn't just a standard mix plate. What this was a boot that was designed to work on FG and SG. As this is a brand new set of boots, I also got the studs that came in the box. So there's a variety of different lengths of studs in this box. And then if you look on the back here, Lotto give you a suggestion for which studs you should use depending on whether you're playing on FG or SG pitches. So it's a fully multi-surface boot just by virtue of having a system to swap the studs out. Genius, and something that maybe we could do with more of in today's market, meaning you don't have to go out and buy multiple pairs of boots. Not great for the brands, but really good for us. Also in the box, you get a little bag which contains all of these little pamphlets and items, some of which I think are very cool and again, something I'd love to see in modern day boots, but I suppose it's a bit superfluous and they're not really needed and it's probably quite wasteful to produce. But anyway, you get this Lotto, the Fighters pamphlet here, and this basically goes through the current Lotto sponsored athletes at the time. So you've got Seedorf in there, you've got Cafu in there. It's very, very cool. I'll put some pictures up on the screen. Something else that's a bit of a throwback, a made in Italy branding. Now, of course, Lotto still have made in Italy boots with things like the Stadio, but a synthetic boot made in Italy or somewhere like that, very, very rare to find. We've got proof here. This one was made in Italy. Something that I really like that's in the box, and I wish all companies would do this, it is a corporate social responsibility piece of cardboard, basically. And it directs you to where Lotto's corporate social responsibility information is, how they sustainably source their materials. This is something that should be forced upon every company to put in boxes and produce so that everybody knows where their products are coming from exactly. I think this is fantastic. More things that are here that I really wish we got more of. It's a little pamphlet here, and all it does is it explains to you exactly what the boot is made from, how it functions, why Lotto made it. There's even some really cool pictures in the back of how their construction process worked. I really wish we got to see more of this kind of stuff, the innovation and the technical details. That could just be the boot nerd in me talking, but if you agree, let me know down in the comments. I realize a paper pamphlet in every pair of boots is probably a bit wasteful, but what about a QR code to a website? Companies thinking. And then finally, there's so much going on with these boots, they come with an instruction manual. One side of the manual tells you exactly how the studs work, so I've just explained that to you, the FG, SG kind of options, and then the other side explains to you exactly how the insoles work. So let's take a look. So in the box, you get this bag here. In this bag, you get an extra set of insoles. Now, this isn't quite as simple as what we used to get with a lot of Adidas boots, you know, comfort and slim, like speed insoles. Similar theory, but these are designed for a specific purpose that runs very closely to what Lotto kept doing with the brand new Solista Gravity. There you get two sets of insoles you can stack in order to reduce the volume of the boot and ensure the boot fits you better. Here you just get two different sets of insoles. So you get the R fit, regular fit, and S fit, slim fit. Now the S fit doesn't actually have a slimmer insole. It's to take up more volume in the boot and mean that the fit is closer to you. So it's more if you've got a slimmer foot, you would use the S fit insole. The R fit is what comes in the boot, and that's just a regular insole, but they both have really nice sets of Poron inserts in the back. These are some of the best insoles I've held in my hand in quite some time. The quality of a whole of the box, the presentation, the boots, the elements within them is really, really high. Now, admittedly, when these boots came out in 2006, they were bordering on $300, which nowadays might seem like, oh, it's just an expensive top-end boot. No. This is like $100 more than any other boot on the market. So you'd expect to get some quality. But on the whole, maybe something that we are missing these days, just a little bit of extra quality and added value. But at the start of the video, I did tell you that we were going to look at potentially the best laceless boot ever made, and all I've done is show you the boots. How about we take them for a spin and we see if these really are as good as I'm making out? So according to Lotto, this is a lightweight, synthetic, microfiber, water repellent, laceless upper, which to you and me is a laceless boot with a synthetic upper. Nice and straightforward. But there's two key elements to this synthetic upper. You've got the areas around the side here, which are actually a really, really soft synthetic, where they're quite thick and they do definitely give you a very solid feeling on the ball. I wouldn't call it barefoot by today's standards, but in 2006, I'd definitely say that's where it was leaning, and they do wrap to your feet quite closely. The other area, of course, the laceless area, which is completely different in terms of its material, and it's very, very rubbery. And it gives you a really great, really nice, sticky, tactile sensation on the ball, and it certainly adds to that grippy sensation that you want from your boots, or at least I want from my boots. And to get that, something we talk about a lot these days, texture on the ball, on a boot, in 2006 that wasn't some kind of rubber striking element, it's pretty impressive, and it works. The bit that I didn't mention there that's in Lotto's blurb is that these are made with a Pro Fit last, meaning that they are designed to shape to your foot. This is where we start to have problems. This is a laceless boot. It has essentially one shape that varies very slightly by how much pressure your foot puts on it in the width and in the volume. You just have to deal with what you get. So this idea of a Pro Fit last that is designed to your foot is basically a lie. It's designed to this foot, and if your foot fits that, then well done. If your foot doesn't fit that, you might have some problems. Now, I tried a pair of these on back in the day and basically struggled to get them on, didn't like them on my feet, never went near them, and my impression of this boot was one that basically wasn't very good. However, like 16 years later, when the boot technically should be worse and I should be being like, oh, it's not up to modern day standards, putting these back on, they fit my feet really, really well. This is a phenomenal boot to wear if it fits your foot. If this boot is molding around your feet the way it's supposed to, and the feeling of that synthetic, the extra rubberized areas, the touch on the ball, the lockdown you get is actually really good. And I'm not just blowing smoke here. These could genuinely be my favorite laceless boots to wear right now. And I mean that over the current Lotto laceless range, the Adidas Predator range. I really like wearing this football boot, but it fits me and it fits me well. If this doesn't fit you well, the way that this heel is designed in particular is designed to sculpt and hold your heel, but only one real type of heel. If you don't have this, blisters galore. And as I say, for most people, getting these on is going to be quite difficult. If you have kind of like looser socks, this is going to grab onto those. You're going to snag your socks. It's pretty hard to get these on in general. So I can recommend them for fit and comfort. I think they're excellent, but only if your foot really fits into this boot. Otherwise, I think you're going to have either a really fantastic experience like I have, or you are going to think these are some of the worst boots you've ever put on your feet because they don't fit properly, which is kind of still a modern day issue with laceless football boots, but here we have it. Flipping over onto the sole plate, based on my assessment of this boot so far, you will probably not be surprised to hear that I think this is really good. So this is a Peback sole plate with the punter flex groove, which is basically just a flex groove in the front of the boot. Now, it's not the most aggressive thing you're ever going to come across. It's not super stiff through the heel or the midfoot, but it is flexible through the forefoot and in a way that still gives you stability, works with the upper of the boot, and is very comfortable. You get really nice kind of aggressiveness from some of these bladed studs with good rotational movement from the conical. Overall, I think that this is actually quite nice. I have very few complaints. Do you want the most aggressive sole plate going, or that's what you wanted at the time, then this maybe wasn't for you. But in terms of comfort, multi-directional movement, this is quite nice. Maybe slightly over flexible in the midfoot here, but I'm not complaining at all. Like, I would buy this. I would buy this today if you offered it to me. Okay, so maybe I've got the nostalgia goggles on hard, or maybe I'm just a bit blown away that a boot that's 14 years old, I think can hold its own with many of the current day laceless boots from that Adidas generation when they introduced us to the Pure Control in the 16 plus. I would choose this over the 16 plus, but we have to take one huge thing into consideration. Those boots, these modern day laceless boots, are designed to fit as many people as possible and give them fantastic performance across the board. Me, you, wide feet, narrow feet, it doesn't matter. That was the idea with the Lotto. They just didn't execute it quite that well. The upside to that, if these boots fit you, which admittedly is probably a small percentage of the population, you have a phenomenal pair of football boots, in my opinion. Even now, if they do not fit you, then you have possibly one of the worst experiences you're going to ever come across in a pair of football boots. So, yeah, alright, it's great if it fits you. That's all from me here today. I've got to get out of here. The tide is coming in. That boat is going to be floating in a second. So remember to like the video, get subscribed to the channel to get all of my future content, including all of the upcoming big boot releases. But have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you soon.